All right, guys, this video just popped up onto my feed and I started watching it. It was absolutely blowing my mind, so I had to share it with you guys. Um, this is an old clip from 1999, Trump talking about Oprah being his potential VP choice were he to run for president. This clip is fascinating, and let's just get into it and maybe we'll talk as we go.
Let's get into some things. The Reform Party, by its name, means reform. You will be leaving, if you run this, you believe in what? The Republican Party, I believe.
I'm a registered Republican. I'm a pretty conservative guy. I'm somewhat liberal on social issues, especially health care, etc. But I'd be leaving
I'm a Republican, but I'm a liberal guy, especially when it comes to healthcare issues. Again, not getting specific, but that's interesting.
another party, and I've been close to that party.
Why would you leave the Republican Party?
I think that nobody's really hitting it right. The Democrats are too far left. I mean, Bill Bradley, this is seriously left. He's trying to come a little more center, but he's seriously left. The Republicans are too far right. And I don't think anybody's hitting the chord. Not the chord that I want to hear, and not the chord that other people want to hear. And I've seen it. Plus, I think there's a great lack of spirit in this country. What's happened over the last 4 years is disgusting, and I just think there's a tremendous lack of spirit, and I think the spirit has to be brought back.
You have a vice presidential
He definitely brought the spirit back, that's for sure.
candidate in mind?
Well, I really haven't gotten quite there yet.
It's just you
Oprah.
realize-
I love Oprah. Oprah would always be my first choice.
Oprah.
Oprah, your competitor, right? Your
Gosh,
competitor.
Oprah's a competitor.
You know what?
with no one.
I'll tell you, she's really a great woman, though. She is a terrific woman. She's somebody that's very special. I have not even thought about it.
She's somebody that's very special. I wonder if he would say the same thing now.
I guess we'll see. We'll see. Maybe that's part of the whole process.
Would she be someone, I mean, kidding aside, that you might
I
think
mean, if
about?
she'd do it, she'd be fantastic. I mean, she's popular. She's brilliant. She's a wonderful woman. I mean, if she'd ever do it, I don't know that she'd ever do it. She's got.
You'd ask her.
She'd be sort of like me. I mean, I have a lot of things going. She's got a lot of things going.
What a ticket
in terms
that would
of that would be a pretty good ticket. But she's a very exceptional woman.
What makes a good president?
Well, I think the leadership qualities. You know, the sad part about President Clinton, who I happen to like a lot, but he could have had a great president.
Big fan of Bill Clinton. Look at that.
And see if the whole thing with Monica and Paula Jones, and the worst of all is, you know, Linda Tripp. I mean, this woman, where she came from, I have no idea, but this is the woman from hell.
But he didn't have anything to do with Linda Tripp.
The woman from hell, the laptop from hell.
He didn't, but she always seems to surface, and she's just became a part of the administration.
But can't you say, in all honesty, as Reagan asked when running against Carter, haven't you done better the last under Clinton? You,
well,
Donald Trump.
You know
would
what?
say
The
you've done a lot
truth
better?
is that Rubin and Alan Greenspan and, you know, those appointments
It's
were
on his
terrific,
watch.
and it is on his watch. And the sad part is, and what I'm saying is that he could have gone down as a really very good and
So
maybe
you'll
even a
admit
great
you have
president.
done well, and the country's done
I have
very
done well, and the country's done well from an economic standpoint. There's no question about that. And now you're going to see what happens over the next period of a year, because, you know, when the election takes place,
Imagine Trump saying a positive thing about a Democrat. This is blowing my mind.
if things aren't doing well, Larry, your Reform Party candidate has a major chance of doing something major.
Why,
so you have
though,
to see what happens.
Why
over
does
time.
Gore inherit this character question?
Well, Gore is a man that I've said before is a very underrated man. But if he keeps going the way he's going, which has been terrible, he's no longer going to be underrated.
What's
he's
he
gonna
doing
be,
wrong?
Nobody knows. It's just, I think he's relying on too many people. I think he probably raised too much money, and therefore it's being taken away by too many different consultants. I mean, everybody's got a piece of him. If he'd just go back to being the regular guy that he was, I think he'd do. I mean, he got to be vice president of the United States by being Gore. And now, all of a sudden, you have 15 people tugging on his shoulders and taking money from his various contributions. I mean, if he spent $20 million, I've spent.
His advice is just if you would have just been more yourself. Like I wasn't following politics back then, but just be more yourself and you would be doing better. That's like, it's phenomenal advice.
Exactly $20 million less. And
What do you want in a president? You said, okay, Clinton could have been a great president, not for the character issue, and you're saying the character issue.
Well, I think it's very important. I mean, Ronald Reagan to me was a great president. And whether you're liberal or you're conservative, people really view him as a great president. He'll go down as a great president, not so much for the things he did, just there was a demeanor to him and a spirit that the country had under Ronald Reagan that was really phenomenal. And, you know, there was just a style and a class, and that's a big part of being president. I mean, that's a really big part of being president. Ronald Reagan had it. Eisenhower, now Eisenhower, I don't see him too much on lists of great presidents, but there was a nice time in the country. The country had a prestige, and he had a certain, you know, demeanor. He was a quality class act. There are certain people that have that. Unfortunately, with all of the scandal in the last 4 years, and what's happening with Gore is he's really tainted by it, and he's probably the last one to be involved in that kind of a scandal. But he's still tainted by it.
So
It's a tough
fair or
problem.
unfair, it's a fact.
Well, I mean, if he were really on his game, he'd get one of his senator friends to go and run against Bradley and him so that you could divide up the anti-Clinton/Gore vote, and he'd get in very easily.
get
I
somebody
suspect.
else
At least
to
he'd get
come
the
in.
nomination.
Strategy.
Well, no, it has to be strategy because it's not that Bradley's good. Bradley's not great. I know Bradley very well from New Jersey. I think I'm the largest employer in the state of New Jersey, and I know Senator Bradley. And you know, he was going to be thrown out of office. This guy was not going to be reelected. And then he made the statement that I'm going not to run, and the Senate is a terrible place, and everybody in the Senate. It wasn't that he didn't want to run. The guy was going to lose. He was going to lose badly.
Well, Perot told us back in '92 the kind of president he would be if elected, that he would be decisive, he would be uninterested in pomposity, he would be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. These are things he would do. He didn't like, not a big ribbon cutter. What kind of president would Donald Trump be?
Well, again, all those things are fine, but you know, again, you go back to Reagan, and there is a certain pomposity, and there was a certain ribbon-cutting stature that is important for the president. I think that the whole style and look of him was just really.
Are you saying that's the kind of person you want to be?
Well, I don't say that, and I don't like to be compared to anybody, and maybe it would be unfair to them, to be honest with you, but. The president has to be a great leader, and you have to lead by example. But you need leadership in this country, and we're just not having it right now. And this is going to be Gore's problem because he is very much associated with 4 very ugly years, despite an economy. I mean, if you had a bad economy at this point, it would be a disaster out there. But you do have the one thing: you have a good economy.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That guy seemed coherent. That guy seemed like he was on the ball, like he was coherent. He's giving good advice. He's seeing things clearly. And I don't see the same guy anymore. I don't see that Trump is the same guy anymore. It's kind of very concerning, but you can definitely tell he is interested in the pomposity. He's already announcing this like 250-year birthday for the United States. Trump is all about the big press conferences, the pomposity, the energy. And there's a point to be said that people, sort of could reflect the vibes of the president. I just don't, again, people who know me know that I'm no fan of Trump and the way he does things and his fascist ways. So, interesting where he's come. He wanted Oprah at one point. He wanted Oprah to be his vice president. Ended up picking Mike Pence, and then, of course, J.D. Vance. Couldn't be further away from Oprah in real life, either of those two, but obviously things change. So, fascinating. Old clip there from Larry King. Thank you for that. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.